Hi everybody, Mark Young with Jekyll and Hyde. I hope these videos are being helpful for you, and I want to just explain to you really quickly what they're about. Not just this video, but a lot of the videos that we're doing. They're about making you a better and more knowledgeable advertiser, because we know when you understand the science of advertising, then we're going to work together a lot better, because you're going to understand what we're doing. So think of this as actually being able to go to the magic show, and instead of sitting in the front of the stage watching the girl get sawed in half, you're on the back of the stage and you get to find out how they really do that. That's what these videos are about. Advertising agencies tout their successes as brand builders, brand ambassadors, brand guardians, God knows what else they call themselves, or any other type of cliches. The truth is, this is one of those things behind the stage, it's just clever ways to justify the existence of an ad agency in a world that does not want to be accountable. The reality is that advertising agencies are only capable of building one brand, their own. So let's rephrase. Advertising agencies do not build brands. That seems kind of counterintuitive, I get it. Now let's start at the beginning. What is a brand? A brand is a company or individual that has delivered a consistent and outstanding experience to a core group of consumers who are willing to pay a premium in order to continue receiving the value that they provide. Other hallmarks of real branding are things like the brand becomes integral to the user's life. The core users are passionate about the brand, and the user is willing to adopt new products or services nearly as soon as they're introduced. So let me give you an example. Apple, there's a brand. People will stand in line to buy the next iPhone sight unseen. They wear Apple branded shirts, and they put Apple decals on their cars. Harley Davidson, amazing brand. Their customers live the brand. The brand is a lifestyle. The supporters of this brand literally get their personal identity from it. It's part of who they are. They have tattoos on their arms. Their clothes are Harley. They live the Harley lifestyle. In today's world, we're seeing individuals becoming brands at a much faster rate than products. The reason is really simple. To follow or admire an individual is more natural or more organic to human behavior. Individuals have characteristics and personalities which we find attractive, and often we may want to emulate them in the form of behavior or shared values. Individual brands may take many forms, whether they be entertainers, like an Elvis or a Michael Jackson, or a business icon, like a Steve Jobs or an Elon Musk. Now we can see this in pop culture. Consider the current 2016 presidential race. Donald Trump, love him or hate him, has branded himself outside of the election, but he's now harnessed that power toward a political career. People already have an affinity or a dislike for him, one way or the other, but if they have goodwill for him, they ascribe it to him as a presidential candidate. Ultimately, he controls the persona that he has, but unlike his rivals, he's not spending any of his energy on getting to know you efforts. He's already known. Much like an established musician launching a new album, same thing. An album could reach #1 on the chart in hours simply because the fans of the musician have an expectation of what it's going to be and what the value is. Okay, here's a little dirty little inside advertising agency secret. Brands aren't built by ad agencies. They're built by companies, they're built by individuals, they're built by you. When we look at the example of Apple, nothing about the firm's advertising has ever built a loyal customer. The brand's loyalty comes from the consumer experience. It's about the design, the elegant look, the ease of use, the reliability, the customer service, the innovation, and ultimately the prestige and pride that comes with being an Apple user. Harley Davidson, same thing. Now, have you ever seen a Harley Davidson ad? Probably not. There's a few out there, but that's not what makes the brand. Brands are built by companies delighting their customers on a daily basis. That is not done by advertising. So if advertising agencies don't build brands, what the heck do we do? Okay, so first a correction on the brand building myth. Agencies spend a lot of time talking about buzzwords such as brand image and brand building, but are often referring to something different from the typical connotation. Brand building, in essence, has nothing to do with monetization, but at its core, image management. Now, while this is important for sure, building a brand is very different from consistent messaging. Agencies should spend their time dealing with image management. They should consistently redirect all conversations to the client's core values. They should assist in managing the public-facing image of the brand. Their message should be consistent, repeatable, and enticing. So some of you might be wondering, what's this up on the board? Advertising agencies versus dating services. It's like some weird celebrity deathmatch thing or something. So I'm going to explain it. What's a good advertising agency? A good advertising agency is a dating service. Now, for those that have ever used an online dating service, this will make a lot of sense. For those of you who have never used an online dating service, it'll still make a lot of sense. The goal of an online dating service is to simply get an introduction. It's a medium by which users can get the first date, the end. Beyond the first date, as many have learned, the relationship is no longer dependent on the dating service. The relationship is now entirely the responsibility of the individual to provide, this may sound familiar, and it could be considered a social exchange, a positive consumer experience. After the introduction and until the marriage, the courtship is about the design, the elegance, the ease of use, the reliability, the customer service, the innovation, and ultimately the prestige and pride that comes with ownership. Sound familiar? An advertising agency that understands its place in the business world knows this. The best and highest level of output an agency can deliver is to provide the greatest number of first dates for its clients and to do it at a reasonable cost. After the date, however, the consumer makes the decision as to whether the product or the experience provided offers enough value to continue the relationship. Without an amazing customer experience, there is no brand. There is only a product or a service. There may even be an identity or recognition, but there will be no loyalty. As an example, I want you to think of a company like Kmart. Very high name recognition, no loyalty at all. Without an amazing customer experience, advertising is left with the task of buying new first dates every day. Not only is this expensive, eventually you're going to run out of people to get a first date with. It's an unsustainable business model. And contrary to popular belief, all the advertising in the world will not keep a bad product or service in business. While an agency is responsible for introducing clients to new consumers and keeping their image consistent, it's also our task to partner with clients to find every opportunity to make their customers' experience as positive as possible. Now, often we're privy to information or customer input, and this can be very useful to you with our clients and with yours. And while we can't run your customer service department or formulate your products, we are responsible for research and consumer feedback whenever possible. Now, our job is to coach our clients into good business decisions. We manage your image. That's your picture on the dating service. We define your message. That's your profile on the dating service. We help you target your ideal consumer. That's picking out who's the eligible people that you might be interested in. But let me ask you a question. Can an advertising agency build the brand? Think about this. Imagine if you went to your dating service and you put your picture and your profile in and you said, only interested in meeting people who want to get married on the first date. That's what we would have to accomplish if an ad could build a brand. Think about how many dates you would get. You might get a couple from probably some really crazy people. We're the dating service. We're going to get you the first date. The relationship is on you.